And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, always helping you win in any marketplace. Student loans, big topic. We're going to discuss that. Evictions and layoffs. Might be surprised by the numbers. And also student loans and the bank bailout. Is it a potential bank bailout when you look at the student loans? How is that going to play out? We've got Justin Kelly in studio. We're going to talk about that. CPF Mortgage. Justin's in the house. Also, Mike Sutton. He's the president and CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas County and West Pasco County. He's got Mike on the program coming up as well. We got a good feel-good story for you as well. Complete stranger helped a woman find her lost wedding ring. We always do that feel-good story. And we talked about yesterday's show, too. Credit card debt, $46 billion. The highest numbers we've seen in a long time. Second quarter numbers, $46 billion in new credit card debt. People are piling up the credit card debt and other types of debt to try to keep up pace with this Biden economy. As bad as it is, I think it's getting a lot worse pretty quickly here. Quick shout out to Discovery Golf Cars. Whether you're looking for an easy go, Star EV, a Cushman, maybe you want a pre-owned, you can talk to our friends over at Discovery Golf Cars. Check them out online, discoverygolfcars.com. Talk to Ethan, Luster, or Marty. They've got 2 locations, Clearwater and Tampa. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 6361 US Highway 301 South in Riverview. This is a beautiful commercial property that we've got listed right here in Riverview. Beautiful property, corner lot location, 50,000 plus vehicles a day passing by. You've got an office with the air conditioning, and then in the back you've got more of a mechanics type flex space. 6361 US Highway 301 South in Riverview. $1.699 million listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Justin Kelly, welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Feel like it's been a minute, but it's good to be back.
It has been a little bit. You've been traveling and stuff, a little vacation.
Yeah, well, traveling, summertime, you know how that goes. It's like, busy with work and kids are out of school, so everybody's back in now, and so
cool.
It's time to get back at it.
Back into the routine. Yeah, we had a little trip down to the Keys, the Florida Keys, did some lobster and some fishing, some snorkeling, so that was fun. Oh, yeah. That was a good time.
Yep, we made our way down there ourselves. So,
nice.
Yeah, mini season and all that.
Very cool.
It's a must-do trip once a year.
Got it. You love the Keys, man.
Yeah.
Living in Florida, you got to hit the Keys.
It is, man. It's the Bahamas without leaving the country.
That's right. Absolutely. So, let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing out there. You know, you're a top lender in the area. You're doing a lot of business. Some pretty setting record numbers, I hear. Student loans, big bailout in the skies, huh?
I mean, if you're looking at it, I mean, really, it's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's their student loans. They're forgiven up to $10,000. Most of these lenders that have issued these government-backed loans, they haven't been getting interest payments. They've been deferred. They've screamed and said, "Hey, we're hurting as a corporation. We loan these. We sent this money out in the marketplace. We're not getting payments." Now all of a sudden, they're $10,000 going to get forgiven. It's a bailout. Let's call it what it is.
It's also a play to voters. Hey, come vote for us. Look, we're the good guys. We're giving you free money here, right?
Yeah,
No, it's a step towards communism.
Yeah, it seems that way.
We're so tired of it. Billions and billions of dollars printed, trillions of dollars printed. It's interesting, when you think about that, how it relates to the local market and, how it relates to people getting their mortgages. Yep. So your independent mortgage companies are taking over, your mortgage brokers versus correspondent lenders. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really important to differentiate, and I think a lot of people are starting to learn. Independent mortgage brokers and correspondent mortgage lenders have optionality. We basically pit wholesale mortgage lenders against each other and force them to give lower interest rates and better costs to our borrowers.
Right.
You've got these larger lenders out there that have a retail space, and they lend direct to borrowers, and then they try to play in that wholesale space, where they're working with independent mortgage brokers and independent mortgage companies like us, but now we're forcing them all to compete, and a lot of them are not able to. I mean, you can look at Loan Depot just exited the wholesale channel completely.
Wow.
I think they had, a $223 million loss in Q2 is what they had reported.
Wow.
So they cited, reasons for shutting down their wholesale department was too much competition in the space, which means rates are lower, costs are lower, and cheaper for borrowers if you're going to an independent mortgage broker or correspondent mortgage lender. Period.
And all the hemming and hawing about the rates changing and the rates going up, it's still relatively low comparable to a 20 or 30 year difference. It
is. I mean, historically, these are still really low rates. And, we've come out with some interesting, innovative stuff where people can, pay an upfront fee and for the first couple of years get a highly reduced interest rate on the mortgage loan. It'll help out with payments for, next 24 months. We can see where this market settles out at, and if rates end up coming back down, they'll be able to refinance in a couple of years.
That's a good idea. Yeah, just kind of like discount points, paying up front. Yeah, and that's it's a big point that you mentioned there too about the amount of debt people are having. I was looking at my sheet here from yesterday. Q2 numbers came out. Mortgage debt was $207 billion. That was the quarterly change for the Q2. Total as of Q2 for 2022, $11.39 trillion. And we got it on the screen. Thanks, Nick. And you look at home equity, credit, debt, refinances are definitely down. Down big time. I just want to play this quick clip though, because I listened to other shows to kind of get perspective of evictions in the next 2 months. The numbers are kind of startling here.
I want you to give the statistics we dug up on the people that feel they're going to be evicted. Remember, the people that feel they're going to be evicted ain't the ones that are about to be laid off. This is where we want to look, like Wellington said, we want to look on the other side of the hill. The layoffs are coming. Go back to the people who think they're evicted, Steve, your analysis of the 5 million. The 5 million things that think they're going to be evicted, those are the ones right now that are either laid off, they're falling behind because their wages aren't keeping up. That's them. The wave of the layoffs are going to come. That's when the mortgage foreclosures and not paying the rent and getting kicked out is really going to hit. My point is, you're about to turbocharge this number. Give me the numbers that exist today, that $5 million number, that 5 million person number. Walk me through that.
According to the Census Bureau, it is 5.4 million Americans right now report in a Census Bureau survey that they believe they're already behind on their rent, and they believe that they're rent or their mortgage, and they believe that they are going to be kicked out of their home, that they will be evicted or foreclosed upon in the next 2 months.
Yeah, so in the next 2 months, I mean, that's very near future. And we were breaking that down into two categories there, evictions. So then you got mortgage evictions or renter evictions, and then also layoffs. And we've saw Ford Motor Company, we see Amazon laying people off in a direct response to the Inflation So-Called Reduction Act, a.k.a. the Green Deal. So these companies are kind of recharging. They got their corporate taxes increased. So this thing is leading pretty quickly to, it's contraction mode. And then I think there's a big depression coming. A lot of people are calling for a depression Q1, Q2 of next year.
It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. As of right now, the way the data looks and what we can see, we're a smaller player, obviously, more regional. However, it's hard to tell because you're still seeing more inventory pile up, as far as real estate goes, but you're still seeing a very strong amount going under contract.
Right.
So I guess a lot of it has to do with how the Fed handles this whole thing with inflation, how much they're going to, how committed they are to getting it under control. Because if they can somehow wrangle this, it'll help American families kind of catch back up. You talk about, I heard him say, wages are not keeping up,
right.
Or wage erosion. Really the only way to fight that is get inflation down and or companies have to start paying a lot more, and ultimately that feeds right down in the cost of everything.
Passes back along,
it's just a pass through ultimately. So
yeah, exactly.
It's a challenging time right now, and it's interesting to see which way it goes. In regards to the foreclosures and evictions, I think a lot of that is backlog too. We got to remember during COVID we had a moratorium on all of that.
That's right.
And it takes a while for all of that to get through the court system. So it's hard to see exactly what we have coming down the pipe in what was backlogged and what is now a problem current day.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, Justin Kelly here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, CPF Mortgage. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And thank you, by the way, for all the folks that are reaching out. Had some really good calls with folks the last couple of days wanting to get financial advice from Mark Hay. We had a couple folks looking to buy and buy real estate and do Airbnb type properties. So thanks for reaching out, 813-917-1894. And if you'd like to talk to Justin Kelly, CPF Mortgage, local lender, support the local economy here by supporting Justin and the team here with the Quarterback Show, 813-917-1894. Give them a call. Give us a call. Hit the website, consumerqb.com. You can even submit an email, brimes@kw.com. But Justin, you look at the economy, you look at what's going on. Thank God we've got a great governor here in the state of Florida. I want to play another quick clip, another great clip from Ron DeSantis.
I want to have the values not of Davos imposed on us, but of places like Destin and Dunedin, where I grew up. Things like the World Economic Forum, those policies are dead on arrival in the state of Florida. We are not going to go down that road.
And that's what's driving it. People are coming here because they like his leadership. They like the freedom. They like the policies.
Yeah, well, amen to that. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not feeding into the globalist viewpoint, which is, hey, the World, Economic Forum. Like, hey, we're Florida. We're regional. Like, we can control, our state the way we see fit through voting. So
exactly.
Amen for that.
And big companies, big as they come, Disney, he slapped them down. He said, nope, we're not doing this. This is we're not going to. He stripped all of their tax preferential treatment they were getting and all of their other zoning requirements they had.
He's definitely proven he's not afraid to step up to the plate. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Much, you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
We'll see how we continue down this route and how his leadership.
He's going to crush Chris in that November pool here.
I feel strong about that one. I feel strong. He's got a really good foothold. He's got a great reputation. A lot of Floridians really love him, and obviously, all the people that have been moving to Florida here in the last couple of years, it's because of his policies. It's because of his leadership. Yeah. So
Top Gov. I like one of his commercials. Top Gov. It says Gov on there.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to knock him off that.
Absolutely. All right, so Justin Kelly, I think another great point, too, is when you look at doing business with this channel, the company, the Quarterback Show, you think about, small business owners, Justin Kelly here, local lender, supporting the local economy. But when you walk into the big bank on the corner, I don't have to say their name. You know who they are. By the way, they took the bailout money years ago. They took all of our taxpayer bailout money that I would have voted no. I don't want to give you my bailout money, Mr. BOA or whoever it might be. Right. So then they took that money, and then, of course, they have these, let's break that down a little bit of difference. Like you mentioned before, they have their one set of lender programs. That's what they have. It's kind of like that box. They're not doing things outside of that. Plus, a lot of these companies are woke, man. They'll cut you off if they don't like your politics and things like that, which is just so un-American.
Yeah, I mean, like I always say, if you're going to a retail, large retail national lender, a bank, you're going and you're getting one set of rates. Let's just forget about the programs and the lending side. You're getting their rates. Yeah. That's it.
No shopping.
No shopping. You would have to take it upon yourself to go out and shop multiple banks, provide documents to multiple people, have multiple conversations, and then you have to be able to analyze all that data that you're getting back from them. And it's tough. It can be hard to understand. Well, what we do as an independent mortgage company, mortgage broker, correspondent mortgage lender, is we're going to these companies that are in the wholesale space, wholesale mortgage companies, and we're saying, okay, what are your rates? What is your product? What is your program? What are your turn times? Does it fit with what my borrower needs? Yep. And then we're finding pitting them against each other, making them compete. Yep. Which when there's competition, the consumer wins every time.
Consumer wins, absolutely. So yeah, and I used to be a rep for Argent Mortgage Company, so I would go in there and you have New Century and First this and all these different ones, and it was the same thing. Yep. Like, hey, I've got this deal, and I'd have to call my boss and say, hey, can I get an exception? I need to beat this rate. Okay, fine, let's do it. Everybody started doing that, and then that's what led to the meltdown and the irrational exuberance of lending. Yep. Let's also talk about renters as well, because I think that's a big thing. Renters are paying way too much in rent. It's such a great time to still, get into the buying. There's less competition. There's not 15 more offers on homes. So get out of that rent and let's get you into ownership. So rent versus own analysis. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. I'll talk first about the fact that, yes, there is more inventory available, and we're starting to see on our side, people going under contract and actually getting some seller concessions from the
Right.
seller, helping them with closing costs, which we haven't seen for a while.
Yep.
So there's more opportunity for people at this point to come into the marketplace and secure a home. You know, on the rent side, I see it every day, and we get phone calls every day. My rent is going up. It's gone up 4 times in the last 2 years. I can't keep doing this. I can't afford this. With a mortgage, at least your principal and interest payment is going to stay the same. You can almost guarantee that thing's not going to move. You know, It's a fixed rate. If you have a fixed rate, you're good to go. The only thing they can adjust, of course, is the cost of taxes and insurance. But we have homestead, benefits and things in the state of Florida that protect you against, large increases on your property taxes and things like that. But what we usually like to do is somebody calls in, we analyze their rent, how much it's gone up. We look and say, okay, if it's gone up this much, let's go ahead and compound that and look 2, 3, 4 years down the road. You're gaining no equity. You don't have an ownership in this, and no matter what, your rent is 100% interest. You know?
Exactly.
So we'll analyze that, take a look, see what a mortgage could do for them, what kind of fixed payment we can put them in, and we'll right fit them. You know what I mean? If they can afford $1,250 a month, we let them know this is where you need to shop.
Yep.
This is where you need to be.
It's your price point where you need to be. Justin Kelly, CPF Mortgage. How can folks find you? I know you got a really strong website, too.
Absolutely, yeah. So they can go to cpfloans.com, or they can give us a direct call at 727-226-1040.
Cool. Say that number one more time.
Yep, 727-226-1040.
All right, good stuff. Justin Kelly, always a pleasure having you in. Reach out, support the local economy, folks. Appreciate you supporting the show and all of our expert contributors, 80 different categories, consumer advocates, all looking to help you save time and money and give you that best expertise, that advice when it comes to buying, selling, investing, and all these different areas of real estate, credit, finance, estate, and tax planning here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Mike Sutton. He's the president and CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas and West Pasco counties here in studio. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Martin Gramatica, that is, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer Super Bowl winner, Lifeguard Imaging, lifeguardimaging.com, saving lives through early detection.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Yes, that's what we're doing at Lifeguard Imaging. You come in asymptomatic, and that's what we do. You're being proactive. You're coming in. We do a scan from the neck to the pelvis. It's a full body scan. It's a 3D image of every organ, and that's where 90% of the deadliest cancers are, in our mid-region. So we can see everything. But for your listeners, we have a real good special. We have a $599 value, absolutely complimentary. They can come in for a coronary artery scan, which will give you their calcium score, 100% complimentary for your people.
Very cool. Hey, take them up on that offer, 813-917-1894. Call or text, complimentary scan, 813-917-1894, and check them out online, lifeguardimaging.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals. If you're buying, selling, or investing, of course, we would love to talk to you. Reach out to the show hotline. Get a hot listing here at 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. It's a $1 million listing, gated community, Carrollwood area, beautiful home. You got 5,000 plus square feet, 5 bathrooms, spiral staircase up to the second floor, plus a private elevator. Of course, you've got granite countertops, new appliances, pool, heated spa, and more on this beautiful corner lot property in a gated community, 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. And you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
And of course, you can buy dirt too. We got a lot of vacant land listings available. Welcome, man, Mike Sutton. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
My
Good
pleasure.
to see you.
Absolutely. So, President, CEO, Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas County and West Pasco counties.
That's correct. That's
Very
correct.
cool.
Yeah. We took on the western side of Pasco County a few years back. So back in 2019, but it's been great to kind of expand our work up into Pasco County.
The best part, right? Over by 19, you get the water side. You got all the...
yeah. All up and down there. It's gorgeous. There's some kind of hidden nooks back along, Newport Richey and up into Port Richey and Hudson. So.
Some good value for waterfront.
Oh, for sure. Especially as you get up into Hudson.
Yeah.
I had no idea, but yeah.
If you're a fisherman, you got to look up there. It's a good spot.
Yep.
So give us a little overview. Habitat for Humanity. We've done some stuff together back in the day with some cool videos and TV show appearances with Warwick Dunn Charities. But do a little bit of bragging. Tell us how many people you've helped and all that good stuff.
No, it's despite the pandemic, we've had just an amazing year over year the last couple of years, and we actually just ended our fiscal year on June 30th. We completed 67 new homes.
Nice.
In the community. We'll actually do 80 over the next 12 months. So it's really, really busy for us, but it kind of speaks to the need, right? So we know that there's, and you were just talking about it in your last segment, there's a ton of folks moving into Florida.
Yes.
And there's a supply and demand issue. And what we're seeing is a lot of the families that we serve are getting priced out of the marketplace. So finding affordable and decent places for them to live has been a challenge. And so with Habitat, we provide folks an opportunity to own their own home. We build brand new, so we don't do rehabs or anything like that, but we build brand new homes from the ground up. And we provide the families with a zero interest mortgage. And that's really what sets us apart from anyone else in the community, banks or anything like that, is we provide them with a zero interest mortgage. And from there, it guarantees the mortgage note will be affordable for the duration of the mortgage.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great, man. So 80 in the next 12 months.
In the next 12 months, we'll build 80 homes. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, the affordability is such a big key thing, man. Do you have any ideas there? I mean, I know it's kind of something we're all kicking around. I know mayors are talking about it. I've had some conversations with county commissioners up there in Pasco, Mariano, and talking with different folks about it. But yeah, it's a big challenge. The affordability. I mean, you're pricing out firefighters, police. You name it. Average income type folks. You're pricing them out of the market.
Teachers, home health care workers, and that's who we serve. Are the folks you just mentioned. I mean, we've underbuilt in Florida for so long, and it really does come down to a supply and demand issue, right? We have a huge influx of people moving here, and I think the greatest concern that I have is we talk a lot about all the people moving into Florida. We're not talking about a lot of the people that are leaving, and a lot of the people that are leaving are the folks that provide the service to our communities. They're service industry workers. They're people that work in hospitality and that kind of thing. We're losing a lot of teachers because they're finding that Florida's just not an affordable place to live any longer.
Yeah.
So our hope is that, we're just one solution to try to curb that a little bit and keep some folks here. But yeah, it's a challenge, and the inflation doesn't help, and
right.
Labor shortages and material, the supply chain issue that everyone talks about, that doesn't help either. So it's definitely been a challenge for sure.
Yeah, we're getting killed, and a lot of the folks that we're talking to are getting hurt big time out there. The tax that these politicians are just unhinged up there in DC. It's just amazing the amount of spending, the amount of money that they're just throwing at Ukraine and all these different places. Like, hey, let's keep some of this here. We got a lot of veterans out there. We got a lot of disabled vets. We got a lot of all the folks you just mentioned. I mean, you think about those folks. Those are the people that built this country. and we're turning our back on them. The politicians are, rather. Stay with us more with Mike Sutton on the other side of this break, President, CEO, Habitat for Humanity, here on the program. Coming up, we've got Linda Ward as well, President, CEO of Gulfside Hospice, Gulfside Healthcare Services, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram, Twitter, Getter, and all those other sites. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We appreciate you. Part of the Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment Division. Pretty cool relationship that we've got with Sports and Entertainment Division, having some really cool meetings with folks across the nation involved with sports, entertainment, actors, musicians, athletes. So Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment, new part of our real estate practice, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. All right, we got a property at 507 South Prospect. This is a great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. You got a commercial property over in Clearwater. You got 2 stories, 15 different rooms right off of Gulf to Bay. So it's a great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. Commercial building close to the beaches, 10 minutes from Clearwater Beach, and over 2,600 square feet. Great opportunity. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got Mike Sutton in studio. He's President, CEO, Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas County and West Pasco counties. And we were talking a little bit about the opportunity for the community to get involved, because there's some really good opportunities there. You feel good when you get out there and you get involved with the community too.
Yeah, there's always an opportunity to come out and swing a hammer with us. We're, as I mentioned in the last segment, 80 homes we'll build over the next 12 months. And you can just imagine the amount of volunteer labor that's needed to go into those homes. And so there's always an opportunity for folks to come out and swing a hammer with us Tuesday through Saturday. It's hot right now, but we still need volunteers. So
yeah,
there's tons of opportunities to do that.
Look at it as your workout for the day, right?
You will work. You will sweat.
and then also donors and applicants, right? So folks can apply. I think it's really cool. That's a cool part that I like, is that you've got that sweat equity for the applicants.
Yeah, all of our families have to go through a process to get into their home. Again, it's not a free program, so they're purchasing that home with a 0-interest mortgage.
Right.
But in addition to that, they do 32 home buyer education classes, so they learn everything they need to know about owning their own home.
Nice.
In addition, they put in 350 to 450 sweat equity hours.
Yeah.
So they're working alongside the volunteers. And again, that's kind of the cool experience for a volunteer, is you get to work alongside these folks that are going to own their own home.
Yeah.
But that sweat equity component, is so important. And so we're always looking for folks to apply to the program. A lot of times people are maybe discouraged by, trying to get financing on their own. So I would encourage them to look at the Habitat program. Again, we serve, folks that, are in home health care and teachers, teacher aides, school bus drivers, firefighters, police officers, as an example, a family of 4 can earn somewhere between about $30,000 and $60,000 a year and qualify for the Habitat program.
Okay, that's a good target.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's the single parents. I know that's what I really liked about Warwick Dunn's program, Warwick Dunn Charities, is single parents, because there's unfortunately a lot of single parents, and that's what's causing a lot of the issues in crime and some of the kids that are going wrong as juveniles. I was watching Tucker the other night, and he was talking about the number of carjackings. Yeah. And I guess his strategy is, especially in New Orleans, is to let the 14, 15-year-old kids do it, because because then they won't be charged as an adult. So yeah, but it all stems from the parentless, and many times the fatherless homes.
Fatherless, yeah, sure. Well, and about 75% of the families we serve are single moms, and they're doing the best they can. And what I find is that a lot of times, the dad bolts, right? And
right.
So there's no responsibility there, and what we do end up seeing is once someone has the ability to own their own home, the stability that creates in their life leads to stronger relationships down the road.
Right.
So we do see folks, they may come into the program in a single situation, but over the years as they build that confidence and that stability in their life through home ownership, what we end up seeing is that their personal life improves as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. We're talking with Mike Sutton here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And yeah, home stability, that home ownership is going to breed so many positive things into the family, the family dynamic, and hopefully they're able to establish they keep it a good job, and like you said, the financial classes that they're taking, they're understanding that, hey, when I pay this mortgage down, or in this case the mortgage is 0%, so it may make more sense to pay other debts off first, right, if you have a car. But yeah,
sure.
And that's one of the ways I disagree with Dave Ramsey. He talks about grabbing the smallest one. I say attack the highest interest rate account that you have.
Yeah, get that off of your
attack the highest interest rate account, especially if credit cards these days. I just looked at yesterday on the show, credit card debt, $46 billion in Q2. That's the highest increase we've had, $46 billion in credit card. So this Biden economy is forcing people to charge things they normally wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, and I think, to kind of relate that back to the Habitat program, what's really exciting, those classes that the families go through, we teach them things like, debt management,
right.
And that's so important. There's so many principles that are not taught in school and coming at it. I mean, we both went to USF. We learned a lot, right? Probably more on the social aspect of it, but they don't. There's just not those classes that teach you things about budgeting for your future and the importance of investing in your future and not running up credit card debt.
Yeah.
So we teach a lot of that in our classes, and it pays off. And we see families. We have a woman who is about to move into her home. She's been in our program 12 months. Came in paycheck to paycheck. She's, as a low income family, she saved $17,000 in 12 months.
Wow.
She probably makes $35,000 a year. Was able to save $17,000 just because we changed behaviors and changed mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the story. Tony Robbins, one of my favorites. I went to his his business mastery course in Namale, Fiji back in 2010. But he tells a story about a postal worker. Same thing. He retired. He's putting money away consistently. He retired as a millionaire at age 60 something, and he was a postal worker's income. So it can be done.
It can be done.
You got to be disciplined.
Exactly.
That's the key. Self-discipline. The ability to make yourself do what you should do, whether you feel like it or not. And too many times people don't feel like it, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Always a pleasure catching up with you. Mike Sutton, President, CEO, Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas and West Pasco counties. How can folks get in touch with you?
Best way to do it is on our website, habitatpwp.org. You can find out how to donate, volunteer, apply to the program there. You can get in touch with our staff, and we can kind of connect you in various ways. So.
Very good. All right. Check them out online, and thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back here. We got Linda Ward, President, CEO, and Carla Armstrong as the Director of Philanthropy with Gulfside Hospice, Gulfside Healthcare Services here. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. A complete stranger helped a woman find her lost wedding ring. Feel-good story coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey everybody, it's the Captain, Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy Brandon Rhymes, a consumer quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We always like to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we've got a complete stranger that helped a woman find her lost wedding ring. Could you imagine losing your wedding ring, right? All right, so a Massachusetts woman wedding ring is in a family heirloom is back on her finger after a man with a metal detector responded to her social media plea for help and found it at the bottom of the ocean. So Francesca Teal said she was tossing a football with her husband this month at the North Beach in Hampton, New Hampshire, when the ring that once belonged to her great-grandmother slipped off her finger. And they couldn't find the ring in the water after hours of searching. She posted, of course, what do? You go to Facebook nowadays, right? You go to Facebook, post online, and asked if anybody might have a metal detector, could go on the lookout. And her post was shared thousands of times and got a lot of attention. And then a gentleman named Lou Askey, who's 60, of Marshallfield, put on a wetsuit, headlamp, and went into the water searching for the ring with his metal detector. The first 2 days, he had no luck. And he says, "I don't take failure too well," Askey said. So he went on and gave it one last shot. That's when he found the ring buried beneath the sandy ocean floor, he said. He sent Teal a picture in writing and said, "Please tell me this is the ring so I can finally get this off the beach." And she returned the ring to Teal's home, and her husband got on one knee to place it back on her finger. So there you have it. There's our feel-good story of the day. And we are welcoming in Linda Ward, President, CEO. Welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Gulfside Healthcare Services, likewise. And Carla Armstrong as well. Welcome in.
Good to see you as well.
Director of Philanthropy. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, thanks for coming in, guys. And so tell us a little bit. Why don't we start with just a little bit of an overview? You got your three main pillars that you focus on with Gulfside Healthcare. And if you want to give us that overview.
Sure. Well, everything is moving along. So many companies, especially healthcare organizations, just kept going during the COVID crisis. And now that we're towards what we hope is the end, for Gulfside, it feels like a reemergence of getting back to, strategic initiatives that surround all the healthcare prospects that we have going on and all of our service provisions. And today, we're here from a philanthropic standpoint because so many of our initiatives and our programs and our sites for the future rely on those types of philanthropic efforts. But the organization as a whole is doing very well. We're serving about 650 hospice patients every single day.
Nice.
Close to 120 skilled home health and rehab patients, and about 250 palliative care patients. So well over 1,000 patients daily. We're reopening our palliative care clinics. The thrift shops are doing great, and of course Carla and her philanthropic efforts are doing very well as well.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. Love to hear that. And when you look at the growth in Florida, the growth in Pasco County, which is one of the fastest growing areas in Tampa Bay, how has that growth affected Gulfside?
Well, we've seen certainly a growing need for the healthcare services in the community, and then with that, a need for the donations that support it. So that really is critical to our ability to ensure that no patient is turned away because of an inability to pay. So as these needs rise, the need for support rises with it as well.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then so the philanthropic side of the company. So it's great to hear, Gulfside meeting the needs of the community and it's going well. And what kind of plans for growth are coming in the near or distant future?
We're really going to continue to expand the home health side. Hospice in the state of Florida is not a free market. It's based on what's called a certificate of need. So you can't just start up a hospice program in a county in which you're not licensed in. So because our hospice program is licensed in Pasco, we have a 4-county skilled home health license. So we right now are in Pasco County and Pinellas County, and sometime after the first of the year we will be coming into Hillsborough County. and then we'll spread into Hernando County. From a palliative care perspective, that is really, really taking off. You'll see in healthcare that the palliative care part of the industry is helping further prevent patients and people going into the hospitals unnecessarily, readmission rates, keeping people at home to be able to not have to go into a nursing home, et cetera. So our palliative care program will also be growing.
Yeah, I think people love that option to be able to stay at home, stay in that comfortable environment, and that's where your home health care that is comes into play.
Yes, and quite often, some of our patients have both home health and palliative care at the same time. So they may have a chronic illness that's not quite late stage or end stage ready for hospice care, but they're having issues with chronic illness for pain and symptoms. They also may have just had a hip replacement or a knee replacement. They need skilled home health and rehab. So that's the nice thing about our 3 service lines. Patients seem to stay within our family of services, toggle back and forth.
Yeah, that's awesome. And reminder, nonprofit organization, so support the Salem Media family, the Quarterback Show family here by supporting Gulfside Healthcare Services. We've got Linda Ward, who's the president and CEO in studio, as well as Carla Armstrong, director of philanthropic endeavors there with Gulfside Healthcare Services. And, so you're doing a lot of good in the community. How has the need for fundraising and donations changed over the last year, especially, with the economy changing, inflation going up? Have you noticed extra, kind of challenges?
Well, definitely. I think that it's been a little bit more difficult for some who've wanted to give, given the current inflation and the rising costs. But still people are finding a way to do that, and that's so important. And it really honors, often those gifts are made in memory of a loved one who is really important to them. So it's a way to keep their memory alive. We also have some wonderful groups who really go above and beyond. And I'm thinking of our Women for Gulfside, which is a philanthropic group of women who are passionate about making sure that our patients are able to be cared for by Gulfside. And so they come together, they donate themselves, they create their own fundraising projects, and then they together all those donations they give and raised, they get to decide which programs and services that it benefits for helping Gulfside patients and families. So some of those donations might support our family bereavement program, which provides free bereavement counseling to those who need it. Some are to our Pet Peace of Mind program, which supports hospice patients and their pets. And also our We Salute Veterans program, because 25% of hospice patients are veterans.
Yeah.
And they do have special needs at the end of life. And so this program really helps address and support those veterans and their families.
Yeah.
Those programs rely entirely on donations. They would not be possible without them. So it's really exciting to see the community and people like the Women for Gulfside come together and support and make that possible.
Yeah. It's I think about, just in general speaking, you look at the most needed folks, right? You think about veterans, you think about people that have served this country, seniors in general, I think have just gotten screwed over the last, call it 8 or 10 years, really, even more, because of the, way that the quantitative easing on the mortgage side, the direct opposite of that, of course, lending. But then on the other side of that, when you think about quantitative easing, keeping rates at 0 to 0.25%, what does that do to the savings side, right? So it's an inverse relationship. So back, 20 years ago, to 30 years ago, people would have a pension, they would have money put away for retirement, they would earn a decent amount of money. Remember, you get like 5.5%, 6% on money market accounts. But over the last 8 to 10, 12 years, that money's come down to next to nothing. So I think our seniors have just been totally taken for granted, and it's, who to blame? Okay, well, it's the Washington bureaucrats and different folks of that nature. But yeah, so my heart goes out for, all the folks that are, in need of home health care, palliative care, and home hospice, and especially the veterans. But talk about, do you have any fundraising events coming up? And
we do. So we have 4 signature fundraising events every year, and the one that is coming up fairly soon is Palliapalooza. It's October 22nd, and it takes place on Main Street, Zephyrhills. And I have to give a little shout out for Paulie. Paulie is Paul Correa of Sun State Aluminum in Zephyrhills, and he did this as a thank you originally to give back when we took care of his dad.
Oh, okay.
So he created this all-day music festivals, got together. He's a musician as well. Got together his musician friends.
Nice.
Said, let's put on a little, a great day of music and get everybody to donate. And I think he raised about $700 or $800 the first year. Well, you flash forward now. This is going to be the 11th year. Last year, it raised more than $26,000
wow.
to support our hospice patients and families. So
That's
if you're
really cool.
looking for a family-friendly event, come on out to Main Street, Zephyr Hills, October 22nd from between 12 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And there's going to be about 25 to 35 vendors. The street's closed, all-day music. It's a great event.
Yeah, Polypalooza. Sounds fun.
It is.
October 22nd. And so save that date on your calendar. Zephyr Hills got music and bands and all types of refreshments and stuff, I imagine.
Oh, yes. Food trucks, vendors, lots of great music and all different kinds. You're definitely going to find at least one or two bands that you love.
And that's kind of a cool phenomenon, lately too, these food trucks, right? Just the different flavors, and man, you got some really good food coming out of these trucks.
Oh yeah, some of it's like gourmet.
Yeah,
right out of a truck. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a good place for a lot of aspiring restaurant owners to start. Because you're kind of like a model or a scaled down model, and you got your great dish. You're known for this, known for that, and then next thing you know, you've proven the model. Now you take that to a bank, and it's like, yeah, sure, we'll give you an SBA loan or whatever type of loan to start your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we're so appreciative of all those food truck and vendors because, like I said, all of that goes to support and raise that money that's so necessary to help our patients and our families.
Yeah. We're talking with Gulfside Healthcare Services here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. You can reach out directly at 800-561-4883 if you'd like to volunteer, donate, be a part, or maybe you know somebody in your family that needs assistance. 800-561-4883. Gulfside.org. Website is super easy. Gulfside.org. Online as well. Facebook.com/Gulfside Healthcare Services online as well. And so, Linda, what else are you seeing out there? I mean, it's just really challenging time. I look at this last 18 or more than that now, 24 months or so, navigating through a pandemic, and everybody that's been kind of put in that situation. I really think about too the folks that it was kind of big in New York. You heard about it, the folks that had to die alone in a hospital. Based on this Chinese virus that came across, tough 24 months, man. Seen a lot of stuff go on over the last 24 months.
Yeah, and Brandon, I really, really just have to give you a shout out. You not only have a passion for, but you have compassion for the seniors, and that is, we appreciate that because your feelings of understanding and thinking about your parents, people that seniors. That's our passion as well. We all have, elderly folks that have gone through these things. I think one of the most difficult things for seniors, even if they have adult children that or spouses, is navigating through the healthcare system.
Right.
Navigation, and you used that word just recently. That is so challenging. So we actually have ambassadors and healthcare navigators that help our families and our patients just to understand. I mean, medications, supplies, equipment.
Yes.
Where do you go if you need help? What community resources are there? Who pays for what?
Right.
What insurance, should I look at? The whole managed care spectrum of healthcare is so difficult, and seniors think, well, this won't cost me as much, so I'll have this program. But if they have illness, they may end up have higher costs. So those navigation types of issues are really on the forefront of taking care of people. The other thing you mentioned, dying in the hospitals, one thing that is really exciting for Gulfside is we have a care center in Zephyr Hills, so that if they cannot be cared for at their homes with hospice care, they can be in our care center. We have a small 6-bed unit in one of the nursing homes in Newport Richey, and we've been waiting for the opportunity to build another care center in West Pasco. And now we've been able to utilize our data to show the Agency for Healthcare Administration that Gulfside has a need for another care center based on some of our patients, many hundreds and hundreds per year, that have had to be in the hospital with Gulfside Healthcare Services, Gulfside Hospice. So we just purchased land to build a new care center, and we will be embarking upon a capital endeavor there and looking for donors and naming opportunities and those types of things as well.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Exciting. Congratulations on that. Yeah. Final thoughts, back to you, Carla. Any other things to mention?
Well, I think just keeping in mind, as you said, we have a lot of seniors who need help in many different ways, and healthcare itself is so difficult, I think, no matter your age. And you combine those together, and that's really where Gulfside can come in and help that patient and that family. But but that doesn't happen as a nonprofit without support from the community.
Right.
So really, if you have it in your heart to help, this is something that you also are passionate about, I would encourage your listeners to consider making a donation of any size to Gulfside Healthcare Services.
Perfect. All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate your passion for helping the seniors and all the folks involved with Gulfside.
You too, Brandon.
Good
Nice
stuff.
to see you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And we want to thank Justin Kelly, CPF Mortgage, Mike Sutton, Habitat for Humanity, and of course Gulfside Healthcare Services here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Thanks to all our listeners, viewers out there supporting the show, and we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.